In the winter of 1950, on the Korean peninsula, a war raged, not just against enemy soldiers, but against the cold. The freezing temperatures claimed more American lives than bullets or bombs. Soldiers, equipped with the best gear available, still froze in their foxholes. Weapons jammed, rations became inedible ice, and frostbite was rampant. Modern solutions failed in the face of nature's raw power. Amidst this desperation, an ancient tool re-emerged: the wool blanket. Soldiers rediscovered that survival isn't about technology alone, but about using the right knowledge. The wool blanket became a symbol of practical wisdom, simple, effective, and life-saving. This story isn't just about history. It's about timeless survival principles. The Korean winter taught that understanding and respect for the elements matter more than any gadget. Sometimes the simplest tools are the most reliable. The wool blanket's lesson: stay warm, stay dry, and stay alive when modern comforts fail. In the coldest moments, old wisdom can be the difference between life and death. The survival system born in Korea's winter works as well in a modern blackout as it did in a foxhole. At Chosin Reservoir, soldiers learned that knowledge, not just equipment, saves lives. Their high-tech gear failed, but the wool blanket's unique properties offered hope. Wool insulates even when wet, making it a cornerstone of survival. The principles of insulation, moisture management, and layering are universal. The wisdom from Chosin is a legacy for us all: simple, effective, and enduring. In November 1950, US Marines and Army troops advanced into North Korea, confident and well-equipped. They marched into a trap as an Arctic air mass plunged temperatures to -37°C. Surrounded by Chinese forces, the Battle of Chosin Reservoir began. For 17 days, troops fought both enemy soldiers and the merciless cold. Morphine froze, weapons jammed, and frostbite was everywhere. Even a moment without gloves could cost a soldier his fingers. Boots froze solid, and sweat became deadly as it turned to ice. Men froze in their sleep, casualties mounting not just from battle but from the cold. Of 30,000 UN troops, over 17,000 became casualties, many from frostbite and hypothermia. The cold was an invisible, relentless enemy. Modern equipment failed to protect them. The suffering was immense, and survival demanded a new approach. The soldiers needed more than technology. They needed practical, adaptable solutions. The answer would come from rediscovering the basics. American soldiers had state-of-the-art gear-layered clothing, insulated boots, and down sleeping bags. But the extreme cold exposed fatal flaws. Shoepack boots trapped sweat, freezing soldiers' feet and causing frostbite. Down sleeping bags lost insulation when damp, turning into icy traps. Body heat melted frost, soaking the gear and accelerating hypothermia. Technology alone was not enough. The environment exploited every weakness. The gear was designed in labs, but real survival required field wisdom. Soldiers realized they had to abandon the manual and adapt. The solution wasn't new, it was ancient. They turned to the wool blanket, seeking reliability over innovation. Sometimes survival means trusting what's always worked. In crisis, soldiers reached for the humble wool blanket. It seemed primitive, but desperation led to innovation. Wool's secret: it insulates even when wet, unlike cotton or down. Soldiers found that 2 wool blankets outperformed a sleeping bag. Wool breathed, let moisture escape, and stayed warm even when damp. No zippers to freeze, no parts to fail, just simple, reliable warmth. The wool blanket became a lifeline, passed from one freezing soldier to another. It was a return to fundamentals, a rediscovery of nature's perfect insulator. For centuries, wool protected people from the elements. In 1950, that ancient wisdom saved lives once again. The lesson: sometimes the old ways are the best ways. The wool blanket's value was proven in the harshest test imaginable. Soldiers didn't just use wool blankets, they mastered them. Rule 1: never lie directly on frozen ground. It steals heat fast. They improvised insulation, pine boughs, cardboard, anything to create a barrier. One blanket went beneath, shielding from the earth. The second blanket wrapped tightly around, cocooning the body. This trapped warm air and let moisture escape, preventing sweat from freezing. The 2-blanket system was a field innovation, far better than issued gear. 1 blanket below, 1 above. Simple, effective, and life-saving. This method created a pocket of warmth in a frozen world. Those who learned this survived. Those who didn't often perished. The art of staying warm is about using what you have wisely. In the cold, knowledge is as vital as any tool. Chosin taught a hard truth. Gear is useless without know-how. Soldiers had good equipment but lacked training for extreme cold. They didn't know to manage moisture, change socks, or adjust layers. Following the manual led to disaster. Adapting to conditions saved lives. Survival is active, constant adjustment, awareness and practice. The right gear is only half the equation. Knowledge is the other half. In any crisis, it's not just what you have, but what you know. The lessons from Korea are more relevant than ever. Our modern lives depend on fragile systems. When the power fails, the cold returns. In a blackout, your home becomes a foxhole against winter. The same principles apply. Insulate yourself from cold surfaces, create barriers, and huddle together for warmth. Use layers, wool or fleece, not cotton, and wrap up completely. Warmth is more than comfort, it's hope and clear thinking in a crisis. Creating a warm, safe space can prevent panic and protect your family. A few wool blankets and the knowledge to use them are essential emergency tools. The wisdom of Chosin is a blueprint for resilience. When modern systems fail, old lessons endure. Prepare by learning, not just buying. The past offers powerful tools for today's uncertain world. Survival is about adapting, not just enduring. The wool blanket's legacy is practical, timeless and vital. The Korean War's survival story is one of humility and adaptation. It shows that simple tools and knowledge often matter most. The soldiers survived by respecting the cold and adapting their behavior. These are not just military tactics, they're life skills for everyone. The context changes, but the principles remain. True preparedness is about understanding, not just owning gear. The wool blanket is a symbol of enduring wisdom. Remember, respect the elements, know the basics, and never underestimate the power of simplicity.